Okay. I, like you and millions of other people, have seen and watched the MCU movies. I, like you and millions of other people, love the MCU movies. Now, since we watch the MCU movies and we love the MCU movies, that makes us fans of the MCU movies. Right? Simple. Apparently, it's not. Because I ended up running into some guys that were talking about all the MCU movie posters they like, right? Showing like showing the images of the posters on their phones, right? And I go up to them, I go, "Oh, so you guys fans of the MCU movies?" And they all look at me and they go, "Absolutely, oh yeah, they're huge fans of the MCU movies." And I go, "Cool, which ones are your favorite?" Because obviously, you gotta have more than one. There's obviously more than one MCU movie that's your favorite. You gotta have at least 2 or 3, right? So I asked them which ones are their favorite movies. And I swear to God, they all look at me and they all start laughing and they go, "Who gives a rat's ass about the movies?" And I'm shocked. I'm going, what do you mean who gives a rat's ass? You just said you're fans of the MCU movies. You obviously must have watched them and loved them to actually be part of it. And they all start laughing and they're going, "You don't have to actually watch the MCU movies to be a fan of the MCU movies." And I'm thinking, okay, explain this to me. And they go, "Well, we love the movie posters of all the MCU movies." Well, the movie posters are directly connected to the MCU movies. So if we love something that's directly connected to the MCU movies, how are we not by default fans of the MCU movies? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm getting a migraine. Okay, let me try to explain this to you guys. You are fans of the thing that the movies are based on. Now that makes you fans of the MCU movie posters, which is fine. But that doesn't make you fans of the MCU movies. And they go, "Well, how do you get to decide and get to conceive what is and isn't an MCU movie fan?" And I'm going, it's in the title of the term, MCU movie fan. You have to be a fan of the MCU movies to be labeled an MCU movie fan. And they go, "Hey, just because we haven't seen the movies doesn't make us any less a fan of the MCU movies as you do, okay?" And I'm going, yes it does. Yes it does. Okay? Because you actually have to watch and like the movies to be a fan of them. And we're having this argument back and forth, and I'm going, you know what the problem is? It's the fact that because there's so many millions of MCU movie fans, and we're one of the largest fan bases in the world right now, everybody wants to get in on it and try. You're just basically trying. These guys were just basically trying to con their way into the MCU fan base without even caring or even bothering to watch the movies. Just lazy ass attempt at trying to con their way into the MCU fan base. Anyway, they all get pissed and they leave, right? Well, as they're leaving, this other guy shows up and asks me, what the hell was that all about? And I explained to them how, these guys are, they're like fans of the MCU movie posters, and because of that, they're trying to con their way into the MCU fan base because, we're so popular and there's so many people, making videos and articles and, catering to us, Marvel fan base, Marvel movie fan base guys, right? And he goes, oh, that's weird. And I go to him, are you a fan of the MCU movies? And the guy goes, dude, I'm a comic book fan. Of course I've seen the MCU movies, and of course I love them. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm a comic book fan too. And the guy asks me the stupidest question. He goes, what comic books do I like? And I'm going, who gives a rat's ass about the comic books? You don't have to actually read or like the comic books to be a comic book fan. And I swear to God, this guy must have been brain dead, because he goes, how does that work? And I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe I have to explain this. Because the MCU movies are directly connected to the comic books, that makes me a fan of the comic books. How is this not obvious? And this guy has the balls to go, no. I'm only a fan of the thing that the movies are based on, which are the comic books. Meaning, I'm a fan of the MCU movies, but that doesn't get to make me a comic book fan. And I go to this guy, where do you get off this, deciding what is and isn't, or what gets to be and not be a comic book fan? I'm just as much of a comic book fan for just simply watching the movies as you are for somebody who actually buys, reads, and collects comic books. I'm just as much of a comic book fan as you are. And then he goes, because it's in the title of the term, comic book fan, you have to be a fan of the comic books to be classified as a comic book fan. And then this guy has the balls to say, just because, then the guy has the balls to say, that the only reason I'm calling myself a comic book fan is because the popularity of the comic book movies has made comic book fans a big deal, trendy, and popular, and that all I'm trying to do is con my way into the title of a comic book fan based on nothing more than just watching the movies. And it's like, I got pissed, and I said, screw this guy, and I left. I mean, seriously, it's like, where does this guy get to decide that you actually have to buy, read, and like comic books to be called a comic book fan? Gee, what kind of a stupid, brain-dead idiot comes up with that kind of a logic, huh? Anyway, watch my upcoming video where I explain how eating a salad with your steak makes you a vegan. I mean, after all, vegans eat salads. I'm eating a salad. How much more of a vegan can I possibly be? Anyway, I'm out of here. See ya. Do you think they got it? Do you think they figured it out? I doubt it. Goddamn morons. I'm a comic book fan. I like the movies. Useless human beings.